Hi everybody, this is Natalia, just going to explain to you the basic rhythms that you will see in music. These are fairly easy and all it takes is basic counting from 1 to 4 and you should be good. Before we begin, I'd just like to have everybody imagine a type of food that is round. Whether it's a pancake, a pie, pizza, cake, whatever you'd like it to be. I want you to start with that. So let's go ahead and draw our imaginary round food like that. Very scrumptious and delicious. And we're gonna call this, or what we call this in music, is called a whole note. By definition, a whole note is a note that gets the whole beat in a measure. It's typically 4 beats long. 4 beats, B for beats, and it's typically under the syllables ta, Here we go. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, each syllable representing each of the 4 beats. Now what I want you to do now to your pizza and your pie is I want you to cut it in half. So I'm going to draw my pizza here again, and I'm going to cut it in half. You notice that there's a line through it and both sides have a space that's not filled in. We're going to make 2 of those because we know that 2 halves equal a whole. And here's our open half circle with the stem popping up like this. This is what we call a half note. Now if a whole note is to get 4 beats, a half note by definition gets half of 4, which is 2 beats. And as we said, since there are 2 halves that make a whole, we're going to make another one, but it can also look like this with the stem coming downward. So it could be, the stem could be coming upward or downward and it would still be considered a half note, and no matter which way you put the stem, it is still equal to 2 beats. Now what we're going to do is we're going to cut our pizza, pie, pancake, whatever you like to call it, once more, cutting the halves into quarter notes. The way these are going to be pictured is they're going to be drawn out like this, kind of like a half note, but filled in, just like that. So here's our half note, and we're filling it in to make a quarter note. And the reason I'm drawing 4 of these is because there's 2 quarter notes for every half note. 2 quarter notes for every half note and 2 half notes for every whole note. So by definition, 4 quarter notes is a whole note. You could think of this as quarters, such as 4 quarters equals a whole dollar. And since we cut our half notes into quarter notes, that means their beat values are half of a half note. So half of a half is a quarter, or half of 2 is 1 beat. I'm going to just come back to the half note really quickly just to tell you what the syllables are. Our syllables for half notes are just ta, ah. Once again, representing the 2 beats for each half note. So this one as well would be ta, ah. So do you see 4 syllables for the 4 beats in a half note, 2 syllables for 2 beats in a half note, 4 syllables for 4 beats in a whole note, and 2 syllables for 2 beats in each half note, and then we have 1 syllable for each quarter note, and that syllable is just going to be an easy ta. So let me just run over the rhythm going from whole note all the way to quarter note. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ta, 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 ta. I'm going to do that again, but going backwards, starting with quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ta, 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 ta. I hope you're with me on this. This is very simple, and now we're going to go even further. We're going to break it down from quarters to eighths. So here we go again, crossing out or cutting in half each of our quarters and turning into 8 slices. You can think of it as 8 slices of pizza, like when you order it from Pizza Hut, Domino's, whatsoever. So if 2 half notes equals a whole note and 2 quarter notes equal 1 half note, there are going to be 2 eighth notes for each quarter note. Now, the quarter note and the eighth note look somewhat similar, But the difference is there is a little flag for our eighth notes, and I'm going to show that right now, like that and like that. So it's going to be 2 eighth notes for every quarter. Let me go ahead and write that down. So essentially we have 8 eighth notes that equal to 1 whole note. Pretty understandable, right? If there's 8 eighth notes, it equals a whole, because 8 eighths equals 1. And I'm going to write down how to spell eighth notes. I know it's really hard. I usually get it confused as well. And then these are half a beat, because once again, we split the quarters in half, and half of 1 is half a beat. And the syllable for this would be ticka, 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 ticka. All right, so this is what our basic rhythm tree would look like. And I'd like to remind everybody that the stems for the quarter notes and the half notes can go either up or down. For the quarter notes, I just left them up there. For the eighth notes, they can be up, they could be down, or they could be holding hands, and it would still look or be the same. So we're just gonna run through this. It's going to be ticka, 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 ticka for the eighth notes. So I'm gonna do this slowly, starting from the whole notes all the way to the eighth notes, and then I'll do it again going backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, ta, 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 ticka, 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 ticka. I'm going to do that now going backwards. Ready, and ticka, 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 ta, 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 ta. And there you have it. This is our basic rhythms for any music that you'll see. So if you ever see it, even though you don't know the pitches, if you know these 4 basic notes, you'll easily know how to count rhythm in music.